Hello, everybody.
Hi, Tim. We are a little late today because I was having technical difficulties. I might be blocky again. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you had to basically feed the little hamster wheel that generates the internet for your house. Is that right?
Does. Hi, Tim. Sohn.
Ooh.
So, I know I do. I've been going to a top secret place to do internet lately, internet lives, and today I stayed home, and this is what we have. Is anyone else having internet difficulties that are more challenging in this time of lockdown? My cable company did say with more people using Wi-Fi and on the internet, that could be a problem. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, well, I've been having issues with mine. The funny thing is, I'm a member of one of these local security WhatsApp groups and then people have been complaining about Virgin Media, which is the one. So I knew it was a regional problem rather than just with mine.
But what's my problem?
Well, it's what I would say is it was a classic example of, because I used to work in like software stuff. So yeah. I used to work. You basically used to manage this system, both doing extra development on it and there's a lot you learn about support for things which Virgin Media didn't do well in, because I went to their website and because my Virgin Media was down a large chunk of Sunday, so I couldn't do anything on Sunday.
Okay.
And I went to their website and it's service checking. It says, "Oh, no known problems." And it's got a service checker thing. And then it eventually takes you to this book and engineer slot thing. And it said like July the 17th or something. And I'm like, and eventually I end up ringing them up. And immediately, because the telephone's with them as well, they've got a recorded message at the start of it, which says, well, there were service issues in your area. An engineer has been looked for it. And then you get lost in a terrible maze of support options. But just by having that, I knew that it wasn't something that I needed to do anything more on, because it was somebody else was dealing with it. So if they'd had that on the website, then that would have saved me having to ring up their thing. And that's because a lot of the time it's not that people are necessarily upset with a service and they need something, but they need to know if they need to do anything more about it. You know what I mean? And sort of having some way of escalating it and saying it and the rest of it. Because I tweeted at them as well, and I got a reply on Twitter.
Right. I remember that. Mm-hmm.
And it's just a service support thing. It's like everybody's so used to this kind of concealing information thing, hiding information. Well, you might as well just be open about everything and say, these are all the national faults that we know about. There's a fault in this area, and there's a fault in this area. There's no, it's not a confidentiality thing. I can't see any reason why they can't just put every error thing they have on their website and say, there's certain ability to say, oh, there's a mains leak that's causing our cable things to have a problem here. So that was just my, sorry, I went off on a tangent there.
Well, no, I get a different answer with every customer service rep. The first lady said that we have a lot of outages where I live because I live in Canyon. Another person said they needed to come into my place of residence, but they can't now due to COVID. So I keep getting different responses. I upped my internet to the top speed, all that I could. And then someone else said that because of how many people are on right now, so literally everyone gives me something different. But what's funny is it seems like right after I talk to a representative, internet will be like, bam. And my people will say, oh, we have so many downloads possible. I don't know what it means. You guys probably know what that means. Apparently it's good. Suddenly it goes way up and then it goes way down again. So
well, you're going blocking, so we better stop mentioning their poor service.
Talk about it. Fox cable. Fix my cable.
I mean, this is the funny thing about it. It's like every time I get around to complaining about Virgin Media, their service comes back. So I'm like, and then I'm like, well, I've got to catch up on all the work and stuff I should have done otherwise. So
that's so funny. She shamed me, and we go do this.
Yeah. Do you want to jump into the quiz, because then it makes your blockiness less thing though. Obviously, the sound. I might have to get you to. I've got two quizzes this time. I've been. One of them is purely Eurovision, and the other one is, as I teased, I was going to create a presidential candidates or serial killers quiz, but now I've changed it to presidential candidates, Eurovision singers, or serial killers. So you can either do the Eurovision one's a bit boring. It's just basically you have to say which countries out of the list have won the Eurovision Song Contest.
Oh. Okay, so first of all, you have to explain what Eurovision is to our American audience, because I only just learned about this in January. And then I had to go and watch videos, and then I had to see what all this was about. Then I was told that America's not allowed to be in Eurovision, which I understand. I'm okay with this, kind of. But
well, there isn't. From the 1960s, there's an entity called the European Broadcasting Union, which was a union of, well, not a union, but it's an organisation where all of the European television channels were members of it. And to further the kind of desire for European unity and peace in the 1960s, they set up the Eurovision Song Contest. And basically that involves every country in Europe, and asterisks some other places as well, entering a song. And it's around May, usually mid-May, on a Saturday night. Though again, it's changed recently, but you would have like 30 odd songs from every country in Europe. And then at the end of it, there'll be a voting process. And one of those songs would win the Eurovision Song Contest. And then usually what happens is the next year, that country would host the Eurovision Song Contest. It's changed now because there's so many countries in the EBU, including, ironically, Australia.
I saw
that they have semi-finals. So they basically have like it's a very rigged organisation, because there are there's four countries which pay for most of it, which is the UK, Spain, Germany, and France, or something like that. So the finalists are the people who were the top people last year, plus the four people who fund it, or if they finish in the bottom, they still win the final. So the UK have been bottom of the final thing, got 0 points, and then they're still in it next year. But for all the other countries, they have to go in these two semi-final events on the Wednesday, and then their songs go into the final of the Eurovision on the Saturday night. And yeah, I mean, it's got very it's hard to describe, because usually the songs are terrible, to be honest. I mean, it's not, but
it's super cheesy from what I've seen, but it looks it looks like a blast, honestly. I was a little bit
popular gay culture as well. That's why it's so big in Australia, because well, I mean, there's a big gay population and they're very, very into Eurovision. Or anybody, actually, I mean, loads of Australians are into Eurovision for reasons that make no sense at all. I think it's because it kind of reminds them of like the UK and like the rest of the kind of Europe, and also makes them feel a bit less isolated out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I mean, it's not just Europe either. I mean, it's like potentially lots of countries in North Africa and Israel, and potentially countries in the Middle East. Though a lot of them boycott it because Israel are in it. So
it's really kind of like the Olympics in some way. People boycott, they get angry, singers can't go. I mean, I was kind of watching I was studying up for this quiz a tiny bit. The things
it won't give you any help.
Okay, this is my question though, because I was watching like the winners of all time or something, and Celine Dion did not enter as a Canadian. She entered for Switzerland, and I cannot wrap my head around this. Why would someone not enter for their own country?
Well, because Canada aren't in the Eurovision, aren't they? Because she's Canadian French, and her song was in French. Well, that's at least one answer you'll get in one of the quizzes then, unless there happens to be a serial killer with the same name as that.
So a country can allow, so let's say I want to go to Eurovision, which I do, by the way. I can go for another country and represent them.
Well, I mean, you have to compete. Because, for example, the UK's last winner in the Eurovision was actually an Australian act called Gina G. I think it was Gina G. And who are just a little bit, but she was an Australian. So you have to go, like each country generally has some sort of music competition to be the Eurovision entry. Okay. So you would have to you could go to like Belgium or somewhere
and find Belgium.
And then you'd have to enter their music competition to be like the representative to go in the Eurovision.
Okay, I got it. Goals.
I've actually got an obscure bet with somebody that involves the Eurovision. Though my part has nothing to do with Eurovision. My friend Claudia, years ago, I made a bet with her that I would appear at the Oscar. I would attend the Oscar ceremony before she appeared on the coverage of Eurovision.
Which that was another.
Neither of us have made any effort to actually get around to do it. So,
well, that's my next question, Tim. How do we get to attend Eurovision? Do we need a ticket? Do you have to know someone? How does this happen?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, it goes around every year around Europe, depending usually on where it used to be. Though occasionally countries, it was funny in the 70s and 80s, countries would win it, and then they'd we can't afford to host it, or we don't want to host it. And they just put it out like other people would host it. But yeah, you have to go to whatever country hosts it. And I think a lot of them have done it in stadiums and things. So they would do the whole event. But usually recently it's been like concert venues.
Okay.
So it'll be like 5,000, 10,000. I mean, obviously with social distancing, God knows.
They
didn't have one this year. They've cancelled it, I think. They're doing one next year though. I think you could just go and attend and book a ticket for it, and then just go and sit. I mean, it would be interesting actually to go to Eurovision. I don't know where it's going to be. I probably should have looked that up. I actually put last year's winner down as one of the people in the serial killer quiz.
Let's go. Let's gather a group and all meet up in Eurovision next year. Eurovision 2021. So here's another thing I noticed. Will Ferrell just came out with a movie apparently on Eurovision.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, that's him and who was somebody else is in it. Yeah, they've got their Eurovision, so that'll boost interest in the US potentially if people actually watch.
I'm going to be asking the same questions I am. What in the world is this? Why are we just now finding out about this? And why are we not invited? This has been going on.
Well, it's like Australia are in it, but they, if they win it, then they can't host it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, because the thing was they put Australia in for like the 50th anniversary show or something, and because of all the Australian interest, and they just left them in.
They snuck their way in, and they get to just stay.
So the Eurovision song contest, which has Euro for Europe in it, it's Australia in it.
Not allowed. Euro.
So
let's do the quiz. Let's do this quiz.
Right, let's do. Hopefully this will work.
I do have a goal to attend at least. I'm attending. Oh, Eurovision winner. Have they won or not?
Yes. This
Okay,
is the
well,
easy stroke quiz.
well, let me just say, I know for a fact because I did study. My boyfriend, though he said he was going to leave me alone, he actually helped me study Eurovision. So, United Kingdom, I do know for a fact that they won at least 3 times. Yeah. Last time you guys won was in 1997. Like, this is how much I know. And it was the song that you guys were talking about.
You are just a little bit. I don't want to get struck off for copyright infringement, though, but yeah, hopefully my poor singing.
United Kingdom, I know for a fact, yes. The rest, we'll see. Okay, let's go with Greece. I also know Switzerland won the year that Celine Dion was with them, but that's not even on here. I feel like I get a bonus point for that one.
We'll come in useful for the second quiz.
Okay. I mean, the things I know, Tim, I know Ireland won 3 times in a row. I mean, it's like...
I thought I put them down. No, I didn't put them down yet. Ireland have won it more than anybody else. So that's no use for this, though. So Greek, well, let's do it, and then I can tell you the count. So at the moment, you've got 1 right.
Yep. Okay, so Greece. I mean, this is the kind of stuff now. Greece, I'm going to have to guess because I didn't see Greece. Let's go with, I hope they won. Yes.
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic. You know, I'm actually Czechoslovakian. Yes.
You gonna say yes?
I'm going with yes. They're my people.
Austria.
Austria. Austria. So actually, I'm quite a mix. I'm going with yes.
Azerbaijan.
I feel like everyone yes. Everyone should win.
We could put yes down for everything, and then we can look at the total if you like. But
how do you say that?
Azerbaijan.
Where is that located?
Well, it's a former Soviet republic. It's near Georgia and Armenia.
Oh, I'm going with yes. There was, and I noticed Soviet drama a little bit. This kind of took me back to Olympic stuff, like Olympic drama. But Poland, I mean, I want to say yes. I just want everyone to win once in their lifetime.
Well, should we put yes? But well, I'll give you Australia have never won it. So
Australia never won it? What? Really?
No. Well, they've only been in it since like they came second like 2 years ago. But
they said people like Australians sang for another country and then they won.
Yeah, but this is the country itself. No, this is not.
This is so funny. Okay, so Ukraine, I feel like let's give them a yes. Monaco. They're so tiny. Monaco. I would like to go to Monaco, but I don't know.
Monaco. Yeah.
I kind of think they haven't won, but let's just give them a yes.
Ooh.
We're all winners.
Israel.
Didn't we just talk about this? Maybe not. Israel. I don't know if they won though. I don't remember what you said. Let's give them a yes.
Morocco.
I'm trying to make this fair. Morocco, yes, and Serbia, yes. I'm giving everyone a yes because we all.
Well, apart from Australia, because I told you that was the answer.
Yeah,
okay, let's see what 9 correct out of 12.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
I mean, what I would tell you is that most of the Eastern European countries haven't been in it as long because they weren't in the Eurovision before the Berlin Wall fell down.
So you're telling me number 4 is a no?
Well, no. I mean, I'm not telling you anything because the other counter factor to that is lots of Eastern European places have won after the Berlin Wall came down, but it's just more likely that places in Western Europe are more likely to have won because they've been in it for longer.
I see. Okay, so let me try again. So I got 9 right, so 3 are wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, based on what you just told me, let's say
We got any comments?
Well, I feel like Ukraine did win it. Czech Republic, Greece, no.
You're saying Greece, no, are you?
I'm saying Greece, no. No, okay, I'm saying yes. You just gave me a look, like a. Are you sure? Let's go back to you.
Well, you're trying to we're basically just because you're getting no help whatsoever in the comments.
How about I'm not? Okay, based on what you told me, I'm saying Ukraine is no. Morocco and Serbia, no. Let's try this.
Ukraine, Morocco, and Serbia. Okay. And let's see, 8. So you're actually gone.
Oh, I went worse. Oh, dear. Ukraine is a yes. Let's make them yes. Let's see if I fix that back.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it on every single one, though.
All right. Let's say at number 4, no. What's the one you gave me a look? Monaco, no. Did I already say that? I don't remember now. No, I didn't. Okay, let's try this.
Okay, 7.
Oh, dear, Tim.
Well, it was 9, and then you changed 2 of them to 7.
Yeah, well, change those back, please.
So Monaco, I was. They won it in 1972 or something, and then they couldn't host it because they were too small.
Are they? Okay, so
who was the other one? Who was the other one you said? Azerbaijan. And Azerbaijan won it in 2008 or something. They are really not in Europe at all. They're in Asia, but
this is stressful. Huh. I know ABBA won. I know a few big names that won. ABBA and
which Eastern European countries have you not tried setting to no in the list?
Tim.
I don't think Tim's on there.
Poland. Just say Poland is no.
Okay.
Poland is no. Let's try that.
And yes, you're right. It is Poland. In it. They were second as well, but they've never won it.
Okay, so I only have 2 more to change.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ironically, looking at it, I think what I've seen is you've got one Eastern European country as a winner who should be a no, and you've got one Eastern European country, well, sort of Eastern European country, that's a no that should be a yes.
What is I don't know, help. Am I switching? I don't remember what I did now. Am I switching Czech Republic? Wait, it was Czech Republic, correct? Now I don't remember.
You've always had it as so put that as an N, and let's see. And then it's 11. So you've only got 1 to change.
And it's another Eastern European country. Is that what you said?
Yeah, well, saying Eastern European, it's kind of.
But 4 was correct, right? I think
This is actually a country that's won it and has won it as part of another country that split up. Oh, that actually kind of doesn't. In Eastern Europe, that doesn't really make any difference.
Well, okay, I mean, Ukraine?
No, we tried that already, haven't we?
Oh, we did. Okay, so where am I? Ukraine, Austria, Poland. I mean,
well, let's say
2, 4.
They won as part of Yugoslavia. See how good your geography is.
Yeah, you're not helping me. I mean, it's either 2, 4, or 5.
It's neither, none of them.
7.
No, go to the bottom.
Huh?
It's not United Kingdom. What's the one above United Kingdom? It's not that I'm feeding you the answer.
Serbia.
Serbia. I think that's it. Wow. Hopefully, like this all. I'm doing this from memory. Yay!
Serbia.
Serbia's part of it used to be Yugoslavia won it in the 80s and then split up into Bosnia, Serbia, and Slovenia. And they won in the 2000s as well.
No, I was not even. No, I don't know my geography that well then, because I wasn't even thinking them at all. Okay, wow, there we go.
Right. Do you want to have a break from quizzes for a bit, or do you want to go on to the famous US presidential candidates?
I would rather talk about
serial killers. So basically, what I did for this other quiz was I went through lists of famous serial killers around the world.
Yeah.
People who are performers, the person named as the performer for Eurovision who won, or US presidential candidates. So people who have stood for president in the US.
What does it have to do with serial killers?
Well, some of them are serial killers. That's the thing. Well, let me try.
What do you mean?
Let me try and explain.
What do you
mean? So we have a list of 15 names. And so, for example, this one is a Eurovision contestant, is Celine Dion, because we mentioned her before.
I would have gotten one right there.
Yeah. So everybody on this list is either a Eurovision winning contestant, a US presidential candidate, so they've stood for president of the US at some point and they've been on the ballot, or a famous multiple serial killer.
You know, I thought I knew my serial killers, but I don't recognize any of these names. Wow. Okay, well, let's do it.
Yep. Well, I mean, this is going to be one that I think you might need some help eventually to get.
Nobody's helping me. I mean, my helpers are not here. Okay.
It has amazed me how similar the names are of all three of them.
So there's something in common between Eurovision winners, presidential candidates, and serial killers.
Yeah. As far as I know, none of them are multiple ones. So,
I was confused. Okay, Duncan Lawrence. I'm going with presidential candidate.
What about Eugene Debs?
Serial killer.
You see, it's like we're stereotyping people based on their name.
I'm not stereotyping. I have no idea.
Toto Couture.
Sorry. I'm guessing. I'm like saying eeny, miny, mo. That's what I'm doing.
What did you say that? You broke up there because of it.
I'm saying eeny. Am I blocking? I'm saying eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I really don't know. So, okay. So Toto.
Toto Couture. Even I can't remember what the hell he is.
I'm Eurovision winner.
Yeah, I'd probably go for that as well. I don't know. I really can't remember what he is.
Samuel Little. I mean, this is Samuel Little. I'm going with serial killer. I'm getting stressed out now. Like, this is.
One thing I will tell you is there are more Eurovision contestants than there are serial killer and presidential ones. So.
Okay, Silas Swallow. Are there just a few serial killers?
Well, it's about 4, I think.
Oh.
There's 4 serial killers. 4. Well, that doesn't add up. Maybe it's. I know. In the end, I just put in more Eurovision people, so because of the.
Silas Swallow, serial killer.
Pedro Lopez.
Eurovision. Wait, you said more or Eurovision, right?
Yeah, more Eurovision than anybody else. So you going Eurovision?
I'm going Eurovision. Selene, I would have guessed Eurovision.
Celine Dion, serial killer.
No. Johnny Logan. I'm going with presidential candidate.
Your boyfriend will hate you for that.
Well, oh dear. He's Eurovision.
Well, no, I mean, it's like you were talking about Ireland winning the Eurovision so much.
Okay, so this is Eurovision. You can just go ahead and change that now.
Yeah, because he won performing for Ireland, and he also wrote a song for Ireland. That's Strom Thurmond.
Okay, speaking of, who are some of the greatest people who were in Eurovision? I know ABBA. We know Celine Dion. Who were some other famous?
Well, there's been a few. There was Lordi, who were this heavy metal kind of Finnish band. There's a couple of people in here who are famous. And Lulu was a joint winner for the UK. She was a big star in the 60s. They probably not in the US. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it's just showmanship as much as anything. It's like Bucks Fizz won it for the UK in 1984, and they had this basically routine where they were like they were dancing with these long dresses, and they pulled them. The men pulled the long dresses off the women, and that was enough to win it for the UK. This is a different time now, of course.
Funny.
Anyway, Strom
Thurmond. Ooh, oh man. I'm going with Eurovision.
Clementine Barnabet.
Clementine Barnabet. Let's go with Eurovision.
Conchita Wurst.
Oh, let's go with Eurovision.
Oh no, not yeah.
If in doubt, I'm going with Eurovision. Linda, Eurovision. I feel like Linda's Eurovision.
Sandy Shaw.
Eurovision.
Harold Shipman.
Let's make him a serial killer.
And Udo Jürgens.
Eurovision.
All
right. How many did I get right and wrong?
8.
Jennifer, help me. I got 8 right?
Yeah.
Jennifer, I'm in this alone. The contest is Eurovision winner, presidential candidate, or serial killer. So if you can help with at least the Eurovision winner.
Well, I think Jennifer might have been able to help Harold Shipman because he's a famous serial killer. So
he is.
You got him right. So
I got it right. So I got 8 out of 12. So I only have what? 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 4 I have to figure out.
Wow. No, you got hang on.
4 I have to switch, right?
No, you got 8. So you need.
So 4 are wrong.
You got 7 wrong.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
8. There's not 12. There's 15.
15. Oh, the last 12, right? I don't know what's happening. I'm shocked you got that right.
And yeah, as we said, Celine Dion is not a serial killer. Well, she might be, but she's covered it. She's not yet been discovered.
And you gave me that answer. I was going to get that right. I was so proud of myself.
Which other ones might? Well, there's Well,
Okay, let me.
Jen might be able to help you with some that you've got right already. Apart from Harold Shipman,
Okay.
there are some obvious. Well, I think there's some well-known Eurovision names in there, which you've already got right.
That I already got right.
Yeah, but that's because you basically said virtually everything is Eurovision. You basically only said one person is.
You know what? I don't want to label it. When in doubt, you don't want to label someone a serial killer. I mean, so I went with Eurovision.
Well, you've gone serial killer more than presidential candidate. So clearly, presidential candidate is worse.
I made a presidential candidate a serial killer. Okay, so number 8. She's saying number 8 is not a Eurovision contestant. Okay, Johnny Logan. Let's give him.
I told you, Johnny Logan won it for Ireland. So yeah.
Oh. Okay, well, let's see.
Well, she could be. I mean, she could be responding to like the obvious. Of course, you'll probably find that Jen doesn't know anything about Eurovision, so maybe knows about serial killers.
I feel like she does. Okay. We need like a Eurovision watch party, honestly. But in the meantime, what was wait a second here. Let me look at these names again. Eugene. Jennifer's dying. She's laughing.
Well, let me.
Let's.
I have the list of answers on the separate sheet somewhere. So, yeah. Oh, hang on. No,
I'm just going to leave you here high and dry because this is hilarious. Jennifer, that's what James said. I feel very left out in the cold.
Just get my. So if I right, and I'll have to go back and share it.
I was going to get a little break for Tim and just kind of start labeling serial killers.
Right. So here we've got your list.
This is just because I have to do this because it's a quiz. So.
What I was going to give you as a clue is there are 7 Eurovision people. There are 4 of the other 2. So there are 4 serial killers and 4 presidential candidates.
Okay, is Harold Shipman a presidential candidate?
No, like you can't get the ones right that I already told you about. Harold Shipman is right. He's a serial killer. He was a famous. He actually killed like 200 odd people. He was a doctor in a local in the UK, and he was killing off his patients for years.
What the heck? You guys have these like, what was the other one? What was that famous one that was about? Jennifer, not help us. You guys have serial. No, we have quite a few, and it's like really terrifying, honestly. Okay, let's. It's so bad. What was the one that everyone knows about in the UK? You know what I'm talking about? Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, but he's not on the list because
I know. I would have known that one. You gave me one.
I've got international serial killers. To be honest, it's going to be by sense.
I know U.S. serial killers. I don't know. Okay, let's do this. Eugene Debs. Oh gosh, Toto. That's too obvious. I know, he makes it hard. Okay, Harold. No, we already know this. Udo Jürgen. This is so stressful. Did you make any woman serial killers?
I think I did. Yes.
Okay. So
there's one female serial killer,
and so I
female ones.
I mean, we know it's not Celine Dion, so
it could be Celine Dion. He's a serial killer.
No, it's Celine. Let's do. Let's go with. Oh gosh, this is so. Let's go with Linda. No, I think she's a winner. Can you give me a hint? What does it start with?
I was just going to do this as presidential candidates versus serial killer, but then I added Eurovision makes it so much more fun.
I'm ventilating over here. Let's make Linda a serial killer.
So you reckon Linda Jenners is a serial killer? Let me show. Yeah.
Okay, I need to know right now because this is so stressful that I'm labeling someone a serial killer.
What did I change it to serial?
I need to know the answer right now. Like, I have to change it immediately. If she's not.
8.
No, that's not her. Okay, switch.
But notice that it didn't change. So, not meaning to say that doing a bit of basic maths, you could work out.
Happened.
Well, you had her as Eurovision Song Contest entry, and it was 8, and then you changed it to serial killer. It was also 8. So, what does that suggest to you?
I don't know. What does it suggest? That she's both?
No, that she's neither. And what other option is there?
She ran for president?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I just learned something.
I think she was, let me type it into Google. I think she was like a libertarian candidate or something.
Well, I just learned something.
Linda Jenners, born 1941, was the Socialist Worker Party for candidate for President of the United States in the 1972 election.
Wow. Okay, let's make her president. Good job.
She didn't actually win, to be fair.
She ran, though. Good for her.
Yeah.
Linda, I apologize. I made you a serial killer. I was literally just guessing. There was no reason. I have to base this on woman. Okay, so woman. What did we say? There's a woman serial killer. It's not Linda.
Yeah.
There's
also only 4 serial killers, and there are only 4 presidential candidates. Everybody else is a Eurovision.
4. Okay, so one of mine. Okay, well, I'm going to switch. I need to guess on a woman. Sandy Shaw. Clementine. I know, you're laughing. This is just awful. Clementine? A serial killer.
Yeah. So who are you gonna try now?
Clementine, number 10. A serial killer.
She's blaming Disney. Oh, what's it not? And then shall we have a look? Yee. So
I got that right.
Yeah. So she is a serial killer.
Where? What did she do?
I'll have to look at it. Let me get to Google there. Clementine.
I'm just learning so much about booze that I never knew I wanted. Is it Clementine or Clementine?
To me, it's a woman, actually.
I actually thought it was a really cute name for a little girl, Clementine.
Was a woman who was convicted of 1 murder and confessed to many more. She was born in Louisiana, 1894. Barnabas' killings followed a consistent pattern. She would often murder entire families rather than one person, using an axe for butchering her victims and cutting off their head.
We can stop. Oh, God.
It's funny that because you're blocking this, you've got you stuck in this position for a second. So, wait, we've only got 4 serial killers, so you've got too many serial killers.
I have too many serial killers.
Yeah.
We got the girl. So.
You haven't got enough presidential candidates either.
Samuel Little, presidential. Let's try that.
Ooh,
No.
no. So what does that tell you?
We need to turn him back to whatever he was. Is he a
Uh,
serial killer?
I think it was a serial killer. I've forgotten now. Yeah, it was a serial killer.
Okay.
Well, I'll give you a clue that the top two are wrong. 1 and 2 are wrong.
1 and 2 are wrong.
Yeah.
Duncan Lawrence. He's a serial killer.
I didn't know you knew him that well.
I know. Not a president serial killer.
What about Eugene Debs?
Eugene Debs is president.
Right, let's have a look at the 11. So one of these is right now, one's still wrong.
Did I have Duncan Lawrence? I had him as a president, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Eugene Debs. What did I have him before? I had him as
Serial killer.
Let's make Eugene Eurovision. This is hard. Tim, this is so hard.
Let's have a look at this. Oh, we've gone down. I'll give you that, given that we're starting to run out of time, he was a presidential candidate for the Socialist Party.
Okay.
But Duncan Lawrence is not a serial killer.
So Eurovision.
Yeah, he's a Eurovision. He actually won it last year.
For what country?
I'd have to look that up. I was surprised because you don't generally remember Eurovision winners.
You don't. Okay.
You won't remember the country, but you don't really remember unless they're like. There's some of them that are. He was with the Netherlands, so. Okay. And actually, it's going to be in Rotterdam the next Eurovision. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I did recognize when I went through and was introduced to the fact that this even exists. I recognized some groups and singers. So.
Yeah.
You need to help me, Tim. I'm at a loss. I don't know. know.
So, I'll tell you the ones. Sandy Shaw is a Eurovision. She won it for the UK.
Yeah.
Conchita Wurst is a famous Eurovision winner because she was a woman with a beard.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah. Okay, I need to look at my answers in here actually. Pedro Lopez is not a Eurovision contest person. Who is he?
Presidential candidate.
No, he's a serial killer. Well,
I'm not guessing the worst. Listen,
Silas Swallow is not a serial killer.
I'm giving everyone the benefit of the doubt here. So Silas Swallow is not a serial killer. Let's go with president.
Yeah, he is a presidential candidate.
Okay.
Well, so where are we? Probably still 14. So you only got one to change.
Okay, one.
I'm trying to remember,
Okay, is it which? Do you know if someone is a Eurovision and I guessed wrong?
I'm trying to work out which one. It's just me looking on a spreadsheet. Oh yeah. The one there's a Eurovision that should be a presidential candidate.
Oh, okay.
Not that I'm clicking on this. Strom.
It's Strom.
Yeah.
You're clicking. That's awesome. Did we do it?
Yay!
Yay! We did it! Woo! Oh, that was so stressful and hard, Tim. So good.
Well, to be fair, I should have had some. It would have been funny to have more common names in there, like Jack the Ripper or whatever. But I don't know what he's. Well, nobody knows who Jack the Ripper was because he was never caught.
Yeah, like, I know American serial killers, unfortunately. I know, obviously, Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, I could have put Stuart Sutcliffe was the Yorkshire Ripper. He was the one who went killing everybody. But Harold Shipman is actually very famous because he was a doctor. He was like a country doctor who everybody was like, oh, he's a wonderful person. And then they found out that he'd been basically poisoning off his.
I mean, let's not give details because I'm going to have nightmares. But the typical serial killer is there's a type. They're tight in society. That's get away with it for so long. They have families. They hide in society. They attend church, profile, and what serial killers are. So,
Samuel Edgeworth is an American serial killer who was convicted in 2020 of murder of 3 women in California and 1 woman in Texas. He claims to have killed as many as 93 people.
We have a lot of serial killers in California, let me just say, especially in the 80s, which is why I'm traumatized right now. A lot. We went through a lot. This is so dreadful. Hey, Tim, what's behind your head?
Oh, yes. It's a variant of the one I had the other day.
What does it say?
Make memes, not war.
Make memes, not war. Yeah, I love it. This coming... Huh?
We actually have got, because we were late starting, we've actually got a few minutes left. But Eugene Debs is really a really interesting character, actually. He stood for president 5 times. He was like the socialist candidate around the turn of the century. And apparently, I think it was 1916 or something, he was imprisoned while he's the only candidate for US president who's ever been in prison while he's been a candidate.
Wait, what year was that?
I think it was 1916.
I thought that, you can't, I don't think you can even vote if you're in prison. You can run for president? What is this?
All right. Let's do a bit of screen sharing.
If I'm about to learn an interesting fact here, you can run for president when you're in jail, or...
Yeah, well, you keep changing the rules all the time, so it's possible that he's...
before a law passed, perhaps, maybe based on him?
Yeah. Incarceration. So he was in prison for speaking out because in the First World War, you were introduced to like most countries, there was like the Sedition Act. So you could basically be locked up for just talking about stuff.
Okay.
But
okay, makes sense. So he ran for president.
Yeah, but he ran like 5 times. He was kind of presidential.
Hey, can you? Since you're on there,
oh, it's 1920 he was in prison, actually.
Can you Google really fast if you can run for president while you're in jail? Because I'm pretty sure that...
Yeah, I think you can. I'm not sure you can vote, but you can run for president.
This is why I'm wondering, because this raises a Twitter poll. Can you run for president, and I'm almost positive you can't vote when you're in prison. Can you run for president in jail?
This is where we're going on to. This is cool. They always try and ram you into some other weird app. 35 year natural born citizen of the US. Yeah, it's nothing. It's like there are weird rules. You have to be born in the US or a natural born citizen, which means if both your parents were US born, you can be born somewhere else, I think. But you have to be over 35 as well, which is surprising.
I think to date, our youngest president was Kennedy.
I think you're right. Him or Bill Clinton, I don't know, one of those two. I've been really sad, and I was watching this YouTube thing where they went through every single presidential election. It's this guy, what's his name? This YouTube channel where he did a show for every single presidential election, and there's some really It's like what do you think was the first US election that had all 52 states in it?
Oh gosh, I bet it was more recent than we realize.
Yeah, it was like it was when Lyndon Johnson was elected. I think it was
was that like 1920?
64 or something. No. Oh, like I know more about your presidents than you.
You do. Stop. You do. You know more about my country than I do. What, 1960 was the first time?
I think I'm not sure if it was 60 or 64. Hang on.
In the world. Well, I knew it was 1900s, but that would blow my mind.
Well, you've got to remember that Hawaii and Alaska were only admitted into the Union in 1959, I think, or something. But what amazed me most was that the first, like, George Washington never actually faced any electors as such. What used to be the case was that the states, their assemblies just elected the president. So they elected the electors, and that's the way. But George Washington, like, not all of the states started gradually, like after his second term, they started changing to letting people elect. But actually, he was never actually directly elected by anybody.
Well, I know that he was the one that said we have to have a certain amount of years. Like, we can't make this go on and on and on because. Yeah.
Well, it was never in the Constitution, but it was a convention that everybody kept until FDR decided to totally ignore it. Which is kind of understandable because it was the middle of the war. But so they brought in an amendment to the Constitution afterwards. So
you said watching this made you sad. Why?
Well, no, I was saying I was sad as in not a fashionable person. I don't know if you use the word sad. Like, you say somebody's sad because they're very geeky kind of thing. It's like
okay, we're speaking different English. I always say this with my boyfriend too. Like, I think we're speaking different English right now. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We're totally speaking. So sad means
like the way people were saying, "Oh, that's wicked," and it's like, it's not bad at all. No, not that wicked in that, mate. No. But so yeah, sad is kind of like an unfashionable kind of. I think it probably is an English term, so it's a bit sad.
What would I say? A bit. I have no idea.
If you like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like train spotting. You were really into train spotting, and you went to the. Well, some people could say that's a bit sad. Well, is train spotting even a thing in the US? It probably isn't, because you got.
You know what? Speaking of all the stations, I've become a fan.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, train spotting is still a hobby for lots of people in the UK, and it's not something but that is like not fashionable at all. So what people do is they go to stations and they look out the particular engine numbers and they write them down. You can't really do it on the tube because the trains don't, and they've started to automate all the things, but for the big lines, they have like all the trains have engine numbers, and they used to, when it was in the days of steam trains, they used to have like names on the trains, and people used to write them, try and spot them.
I would totally do this. That would be fun. It sounds actually really relaxing. I would totally do that. You guys have
Christelle is sad.
Does that mean I'm sad? I don't know.
Sad. Well, like, I don't know what is like. Yeah, but it's probably going to be like, taken. I mean, you have to be very careful with language because there's words that we use for things, and
it's careful.
They suddenly become unacceptable. So
let's like review things before we come on air.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we've managed to waffle our way for an hour. We've probably the most ridiculous. You've managed to make out that various presidential candidates are serial killers.
No, I didn't.
I
gave them the benefit of the doubt.
So you're one of the female presidential candidates that you've only ever had, and you said she was a serial killer.
Oh, I had to guess. I had no, like, that was not her. That was me. It was me. It was me.
Anyway, let me see.
On Tuesday, we have Jay Baker
yeah.
that we are interviewing, author, social justice warrior, mental health advocate, and I can't quite remember how he describes himself, but kind of like a punk pastor on the fringes. He has greatly inspired me. He wrote the book Fall to Grace. Love that book. He's coming on Tuesday. I'm excited to hear a bit of his story.
Yeah. And he's going to be in well, his family is going to be featured in movies.
His family's going to be in a movie, I believe, in the coming year or two. And I think Elton John is creating a musical based on, I don't remember if it's his mom or both parents. I can't quite remember, but
his parents are famous.
Tammy Faye, big fan of her. Lover. She was a lover, just big fan. So I'm excited to chat with him.
Yeah. So see you guys on Tuesday for that exciting interview. And now I'm going to play the outro music.
Bye. Tim and anyone else that might come on.